What if everything you've been meticulously taught about emotional vulnerability, especially within the sacred confines of your own family, isn't a path to deeper connection, but a carefully constructed lie designed to keep you controllable? Stop for a moment and truly consider that possibility. For too long, you've been told that openness is strength, that sharing your deepest fears and desires makes you more human, more lovable. But what if, for certain people, particularly those closest to you, that very openness is a weapon they wield against your sovereignty, a vulnerability they exploit to maintain their grip on your life? This isn't about becoming heartless or cruel. It's about becoming something far more potent, emotionally dangerous. Not dangerous to others in an aggressive sense, but dangerous to anyone who seeks to manipulate, control, or diminish you. It's about building an impenetrable fortress around your true self, a shield that deflects the emotional attacks and subtle coercions that have held you captive for years. True freedom, the kind that allows you to sculpt your own destiny, doesn't emerge from naive, emotional exposure to those who would exploit it. No, it blossoms from strategic emotional detachment, from a profound understanding of who you are and what you will absolutely no longer tolerate. This is the radical philosophy we call family nihilism, a framework not of destruction, but of dismantling the toxic, inherited expectations that have suffocated your personal agency, allowing you to reclaim the absolute reign over your own life. Does this sound familiar? You're at a family dinner, maybe Thanksgiving or a holiday gathering, and the conversation inevitably steers towards your career choices. A parent, perhaps with a well-meaning but utterly suffocating tone, asks why you haven't pursued that stable job or why you're still chasing that risky dream. You feel the familiar knot in your stomach, the unspoken expectation that you justify your existence, your choices, to people who often refuse to truly see you. Or perhaps it's the subtle, yet potent, guilt trip from a sibling about not being present enough in family matters, even when you're sacrificing your own well-being to meet their demands. You find yourself constantly seeking approval, a nod of validation from relatives who seem to hold the keys to your perceived worth. Every conversation becomes a delicate dance, every decision an internal battle, weighed against the potential judgment or ostracization from the very people who are supposed to be your sanctuary. Are you the one who always gives in, always compromises, always puts family harmony above your own deepest desires? Do you find yourself playing a role, donning a mask of compliance, just to avoid conflict, only to feel a gnawing emptiness inside? This isn't healthy connection. It's emotional blackmail, a subtle form of control disguised as love or loyalty. You're exhausted, aren't you? Drained by the endless cycle of trying to please everyone, only to feel unseen, unheard, and profoundly unappreciated. You've sacrificed personal dreams, postponed your own happiness, all for the sake of an obligation that feels less like support and more like a heavy chain. The fear of judgment, the terror of expressing an independent thought or pursuing an unconventional path has kept you silent, compliant, and utterly predictable. You've become a pawn in someone else's emotional chess game, moving only when prompted, existing only within the boundaries they've set for you. This isn't just about isolated incidents. These are insidious patterns, deeply ingrained behaviors that slowly but surely erode your self-worth, chip away at your autonomy, and ultimately steal your freedom. Perhaps you felt the sting of comparison, where your life choices are implicitly or explicitly measured against a cousin's more successful career or a sibling's perfect family. Every holiday gathering becomes a subtle battlefield, every phone call a potential interrogation. You've learned to anticipate the loaded questions, the backhanded compliments, the passive-aggressive remarks designed to subtly undermine your confidence and reinforce your perceived inadequacies. They want you to stay small, to remain within the comfortable, controllable box they've built for you. You find yourself rehearsing conversations in your head, preparing defenses, or simply avoiding contact altogether because the emotional cost of interaction has become too high. The constant need to be the good one, the supportive one, the understanding one, has left you with little energy for your own growth, your own ambitions. You've become a mirror, reflecting back what others want to see, rather than a lamp radiating your own unique light. This isn't just about feeling a little down sometimes. It's about a systemic erosion of your personal identity, a slow bleed of your spirit. You look in the mirror and barely recognize the person staring back, lost in a labyrinth of obligations and expectations that were never truly yours to begin with. You understand, perhaps more than anyone, what it means to be too nice, to be taken for granted, to have your kindness mistaken for weakness. You've seen how your genuine empathy has been weaponized against you, how your desire for connection has been twisted into a tool for manipulation. You yearn for respect, not just from others, but from yourself, for the courage to stand firm in your convictions, to say no without a tremor of guilt. You want to be unpredictable, unreadable, a force to be reckoned with, not a predictable target. You're tired of being the one who always gives in, always explains, always compromises, leaving you feeling diminished and disrespected. The truth is, the world, and sometimes even your own family, will continue to exploit your emotional transparency as long as you allow it. They will continue to define your worth, dictate your choices, and drain your energy unless you decide to draw a line in the sand, unless you decide to become emotionally dangerous. This isn't about becoming a villain. It's about becoming untouchable. It's about cultivating an inner strength so profound that external pressures simply bounce off, leaving your core self intact and unyielding. It's about recognizing that your emotional landscape is your sovereign territory, and you're the only one with the right to grant access. If you're ready to stop being a victim of emotional manipulation, if you're ready to reclaim your personal power and finally live on your own terms, then pay close attention. Because what I'm about to reveal will fundamentally shift your understanding of power, control, and true freedom within your most intimate relationships. This isn't some new age philosophy or pop psychology fad. The blueprints for this impenetrable inner strength, for becoming truly untouchable, were laid down centuries ago by minds far sharper than our own. Consider the wisdom of a man who once ruled an empire, yet understood the profound power of self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius. The Roman emperor, a Stoic philosopher, didn't just command legions. He commanded himself. He grasped a fundamental truth that escapes so many today, a truth that, once internalized, renders you immune to the emotional whims of others. He famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't about becoming cold or indifferent to the world. It's about recognizing that while you cannot control your family's opinions, their criticisms, or their attempts to manipulate you, you absolutely control your reaction to them. This is the bedrock of what we call being emotionally dangerous, not as a threat to others, but as a master of your own internal state, an emotional fortress that external forces simply cannot penetrate. True control doesn't come from trying to change others or seeking their approval. It comes from within, from understanding what truly lies within your sphere of influence and what is not. It's about building your inner citadel, a sanctuary where no one else's negativity can trespass. If you are ready to reclaim your power, to fortify your mind against the relentless onslaught of external expectations, then I want you to make a public declaration right now. Go to the comments section below and type this: "I choose emotional sovereignty from today." Let that commitment solidify your resolve. The first principle of becoming emotionally dangerous is the indifference of the sage. Marcus Aurelius himself taught us that if you're distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This isn't about not caring about anything or anyone. It's about understanding that your suffering doesn't come from the external event itself, but from your interpretation and the value you assign to it. True power lies in controlling your reaction. When a family member lobs a passive-aggressive comment or a thinly veiled criticism, Their intention is often to provoke a reaction, to pull you into their emotional drama. Being a sage means cultivating an inner state where their opinions, their criticisms, their attempts to provoke simply have no hold over you. You observe them without judgment, like watching leaves fall from a tree. You don't engage, you don't defend, you don't explain. Imagine it's Thanksgiving dinner, and your Aunt Carol, bless her heart, makes a snide remark about your choice to work remotely instead of having a real office job. She says something like, "Oh, still working in your pajamas, are we? Must be nice to just play on the computer all day." Most people would immediately feel a flush of anger or embarrassment. They'd launch into a defensive explanation of their career's validity, the demands of their job, or the benefits of remote work. They'd try to justify themselves to win her approval and end up feeling emotionally drained. Most people react defensively, explain themselves, or get visibly upset, thus giving the manipulator exactly what they want: control over your emotional state. You, however, will acknowledge the comment internally, perhaps even a slight nod or a polite, non-committal. You will then calmly shift the conversation or simply return to your meal, maintaining your composure. Your silence, your lack of emotional investment, becomes your impenetrable shield. You don't need to justify your life to anyone. You understand that her comment says more about her own insecurities than it does about your choices. This approach conserves your emotional energy and denies others the satisfaction of controlling your feelings. The second principle is the strategic retreat of Sun Tzu. As the ancient military strategist famously advised, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Just as a brilliant general knows when to engage and when to withdraw, an emotionally dangerous individual understands the profound power of disengagement. Sometimes, the strongest move you can make is no move at all. This isn't about running away from problems. It's about preserving your energy, protecting your peace, and strategically positioning yourself where you cannot be harmed. It involves knowing when to withhold information that could be used against you, when to make yourself unavailable to emotional attacks, and when to simply step back from a toxic interaction. Let's say your mother-in-law, bless her heart, has a habit of calling you every single day to complain about trivial matters: the weather, the grocery store, the latest news headlines, draining your energy with her relentless negativity. You feel obligated to listen, to offer sympathy, to try and fix her problems, even though it leaves you utterly exhausted and irritable. Most people feel an immense sense of obligation to listen, to offer solutions, effectively becoming an emotional dumping ground for others' anxieties. They answer every call, respond to every text, and absorb every complaint, believing it's their duty. You, on the other hand, will implement the strategic retreat. You might set specific times you're available for calls, politely state that you're busy at other times, or even let some calls go to voicemail, calling back only when you're emotionally prepared and have the energy. You might say, "Mom, I can only chat for 15 minutes today. I have a deadline," or "I'll call you back later when I have more time to fully listen." This isn't rude, it's self-preservation. You are preserving your precious mental and emotional resources and teaching others how to treat you by setting clear, albeit gentle, boundaries. This allows you to control the flow of emotional energy, preventing burnout and maintaining your internal equilibrium. If you feel the resonance of this power growing within you, declare it. Comment below right now. I am the architect of my emotional landscape. The third principle is the unbreakable boundary of the architect. Epictetus, another profound Stoic, wisely stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Think of boundaries not as impenetrable walls to keep people out, but as clearly defined fences to delineate precisely where you end and others begin. Emotional danger means you have a crystal clear understanding of what you will and will not tolerate, and you enforce those boundaries without a shred of guilt or apology. This is the cornerstone of self-respect and self-preservation. Imagine a sibling constantly asking for financial favors. Each request laced with emotional manipulation, veiled accusations, or comparisons to your success. You feel a profound obligation, even as it drains your finances and breeds resentment. Most people, burdened by guilt, reluctantly give in, fearing accusations of being unsupportive. They sacrifice their well-being, leaving them feeling trapped and exploited. As an architect of your emotional landscape, however, you will state your limit firmly. I understand you're going through a tough time, but I'm not able to provide financial assistance right now. You might offer alternatives, but you will not waver. Your financial stability and emotional health are paramount. Protecting them is not selfish, but essential. Your calm, unapologetic resolve communicates a clear message. You are not an endless resource, and your generosity has limits. This isn't unkind. It's strategically firm, honoring your needs, and teaching respectful interaction. From this moment forward, if you are ready to fortify your inner world, comment below. I am the architect of my emotional landscape. The fourth principle, a truly liberating concept, is the nihilistic lens of expectations. Friedrich Nietzsche stated, "There are no facts, only interpretations." This profound insight is the core of family nihilism. It means recognizing that many rules, traditions, and expectations within your family are not universal truths. They are arbitrary social constructs, inherited narratives, holding power over you only if you grant it. Being emotionally dangerous means you possess the critical insight to question these narratives and ruthlessly dismantle any that do not serve your authentic self, your growth, or your personal sovereignty. Consider the pervasive expectation to follow a specific career path, perhaps the family business, even if your true passion lies elsewhere. Your family might value stability over creativity, conformity over individual expression. You might feel intense pressure to pursue a path that brings external approval, even if it feels like a cage. Most people internalize these expectations without question, spending years living a life that isn't their own, feeling like a failure if they deviate, constantly seeking external validation. They carry the heavy burden of familial disappointment. You, however, will view these expectations through the nihilistic lens. You will recognize them not as mandates, but as mere interpretations of a good life, interpretations formed in a different time by different people. Your worth isn't derived from fulfilling someone else's script. Instead, you will courageously forge your own path, free from the crushing burden of external validation, understanding that your authentic happiness is the only true measure of success. This is a profound act of self-liberation, a declaration that your life is yours to design. If you are ready to shed the weight of inherited expectations, make a public declaration in the comments. My worth is inherent, not granted by others. Next, we delve into the chess master's foresight. Niccolò Machiavelli offered a crucial insight. A good head and an open mind are not enough. There must be something in the character, too, a certain firmness. Emotional danger isn't just about reacting, it's about anticipating. It involves thinking several moves ahead in social and familial interactions, understanding the underlying motivations behind others' actions, especially manipulative ones. This foresight allows you to prepare responses in advance, preempt conflicts, and navigate complex dynamics with calm, strategic precision, rather than being caught off guard emotionally. Imagine an upcoming family gathering where a sensitive topic, your relationship, finances, or a past disagreement, is guaranteed to surface. Most people walk into such situations unprepared, reacting emotionally to loaded questions or passive-aggressive comments, getting drawn into unwanted arguments, leaving them drained and regretful. Their reactions are predictable, making them easy targets. You, however, will employ the chess master's foresight. You will mentally rehearse your responses, decide which topics to gracefully deflect, and even have an exit strategy if the emotional temperature rises. You might prepare a neutral phrase like, "That's an interesting perspective," or "I'm not discussing that right now." By anticipating the emotional battlefield, you control the terms of engagement. You choose when and how to respond, or whether to respond at all, disarming potential manipulators before they even make their move. This proactive approach maintains your composure, protects your emotional energy, and asserts your boundaries without drama. Now consider the unspoken power of silence. Thomas Carlyle said, "Speech is of time. Silence is of eternity." In emotional confrontations, silence is your most potent, disarming weapon. It denies manipulators the reaction they crave, forcing them to confront the emptiness of their provocations. Emotional danger means mastering non-response, allowing your quiet confidence and unwavering composure to speak volumes, often more powerfully than any words. Picture this: a family member, frustrated by your newfound resilience, makes an emotionally charged accusation designed to provoke a defensive outburst. You've become so distant and cold, you don't care about family anymore. Their goal is to ignite your anger, guilt, or fear, drawing you into their drama to reassert control. Most people, faced with such a hurtful accusation, would immediately launch into a passionate defense. They would explain, justify, or counter-accuse, feeding the conflict and giving the aggressor what they wanted, a reaction. You, however, will meet the accusation with calm, deliberate silence. You will maintain a steady gaze, a neutral nod, and offer no verbal response. Your quiet, unmoving presence effectively disarms the aggressor. There is no fuel for their fire, no emotional leverage to exploit. This silence communicates profound strength, a refusal to engage in their game, and a clear message that their words hold no power over your internal state. You choose peace over performance, knowing your actions, not your words, will ultimately define your character. To reinforce this profound shift in your internal power, declare it now. In the comments, write, "I choose peace over performance." Finally, let's explore the self-sufficient citadel. Jean-Paul Sartre declared, "Man is condemned to be free, because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does." This highlights a radical, liberating responsibility. Ultimately, being emotionally dangerous is about building an internal citadel of self-sufficiency. It means deriving your sense of worth, happiness, purpose, and identity entirely from within yourself, rather than from external approval, societal expectations, or even family ties. This profound self-reliance makes you truly immune to control, because you need nothing from others to feel complete, valid, or loved. Your well-being is not contingent on their acceptance or validation. Consider the immense pressure to conform to your family's expectations about your life partner, lifestyle choices, or how you raise your children. Any deviation is met with disapproval or emotional distance. Most people, when faced with such familial pressure, will bend, compromise, or even hide their true desires, constantly seeking that elusive external validation and acceptance. They become susceptible to manipulation, forever adjusting their sails to catch the fickle winds of approval, making their happiness and self-worth contingent on the opinions of others. You, however, having diligently constructed your self-sufficient citadel, will cultivate a deep, unshakable sense of self-acceptance and inner validation. Your choices become unequivocally your own, rooted firmly in your authentic self, rendering others' opinions, judgments, or even their emotional distance utterly irrelevant to your core identity and the path you've chosen. Your happiness is not a negotiation. It is a self-generated state, independent of external factors. This radical self-reliance is the ultimate freedom, the final, impenetrable layer of your emotional armor, making you truly untouchable. Now, it's crucial to understand the profound intention behind these principles. This knowledge, this framework of becoming emotionally dangerous, is not a blueprint for destruction. It is not a call to arms to wage war on your family or those around you. Instead, it is a formidable shield, a strategic guide for self-protection and profound empowerment. It's about building an impenetrable fortress around your authentic self, ensuring your emotional integrity and sovereignty remain intact in a world that often seeks to undermine it. This isn't about harming others. It's about preventing yourself from being harmed. It's about reclaiming your inherent power, not wielding power over others, but mastering the power within yourself. This is the path to truly living on your own terms, without guilt, without apology, and without succumbing to the subtle, insidious manipulations that have held you captive. You stand at a pivotal crossroads in your life. On one path lies the familiar, well-worn comfort of remaining a predictable, controllable entity, forever subject to the whims, expectations, and emotional demands of others. It's a path where your worth is constantly negotiated, where your peace is easily shattered, and where your freedom is always conditional. It's a life where you remain a pawn, moved by forces outside yourself, constantly reacting, constantly seeking approval, and perpetually feeling drained. But there is another path, one less traveled, fraught with initial discomfort, yet exhilarating, terrifying, and ultimately, utterly liberating. This is the path of becoming emotionally dangerous, a master of your own internal universe, impervious to manipulation, unshaken by external judgment, and fiercely sovereign over your own destiny. It's a path where you become the untouchable king or queen of your own emotional chessboard, dictating the terms of engagement, choosing your battles wisely, and living a life defined by your own unwavering truth. Which path will you choose? To remain a predictable target, or to rise as an unyielding force? The power to choose, the power to transform, is now undeniably yours. You possess the knowledge, the strategies, and the philosophical framework to rewrite your narrative. The question is, are you brave enough to use it? If this message resonated deep within your core, if you're truly ready to embrace your emotional danger and reclaim your personal sovereignty, then hit that like button right now. Your engagement fuels this movement, helping this vital truth reach more people who desperately need to hear it. And for more insights into building an unbreakable mind and reclaiming your personal power, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss another essential revelation. In the comments below, I want you to tell me, what is one family expectation you are ready to challenge? Starting today, make that public declaration, solidify your commitment, and join a community of individuals who refuse to be controlled. Share this video with someone you know who needs to hear this truth, who is tired of being a pawn and is ready to become the architect of their own emotional landscape. The time to reclaim your power is now. The time to reclaim your power is now. This isn't a theoretical exercise. It's a living blueprint for an entirely new existence, a profound recalibration of your internal compass. Imagine the profound clarity, the unwavering resolve, the deep-seated peace that comes with knowing you are no longer a mere puppet on anyone's strings. No more second-guessing your inherent worth. No more bending to irrational demands. No more sacrificing your most cherished truths on the altar of manufactured harmony. This is the dawn of your true autonomy, the undeniable moment you step into the arena of your own life as a sovereign individual, unbound by the invisible chains of inherited guilt or manipulative affection. Think of the profound calm you will find when the toxic whispers of others' expectations, their subtle criticisms, or their overt attempts at control simply bounce off your fortified mind, leaving your inner sanctuary undisturbed. Consider the genuine respect you will effortlessly command, not through aggression or empty boasts, but through an unshakable inner calm and a quiet, discerning strength that communicates a clear message. I know who I am. I stand firm in my convictions, and I will not be swayed by external pressures or emotional theatrics. This newfound power isn't about isolating yourself. It's about connecting on your own terms, from a place of genuine strength and authenticity, rather than desperate need or obligation. This journey isn't a sprint. It's a lifelong cultivation of self-mastery, a continuous refinement of your emotional intelligence. Each boundary you courageously uphold, each strategic silence you deploy, each inherited expectation you thoughtfully dismantle, carves deeper grooves of resilience and wisdom into your spirit. You're not just learning tactics, you are undergoing a fundamental transformation of self. You are shedding the old skin of the pliable, the agreeable, the easily controlled, and emerging as the resilient, the discerning, the truly free architect of your own destiny. This path may, at times, feel solitary, for few dare to walk it, preferring the comfortable illusion of external validation. But remember, true strength is often forged in solitude, in the unwavering commitment to one's own authentic truth, away from the noise and demands of the crowd. Embrace the liberating wisdom of family nihilism, not as a rejection of genuine love or meaningful connection, but as a profound purification of it, a stripping away of all that is false, coercive, conditional, and emotionally draining. It is about creating space for true, unconditional relationships to flourish, relationships built on mutual respect, understanding, and personal freedom, rather than obligation or manipulation. You are not becoming heartless. You are becoming whole. You are not disconnecting. You are reconnecting with the most vital person in your life, yourself. The power you now possess is the profound power to define your own reality, to set your own terms for engagement, to chart a course that is authentically, unapologetically yours. It is the power to finally stop seeking permission to live your own life, to pursue your own dreams, and to honor your own values. This is the ultimate freedom, the kind that resonates deep within your soul and radiates outwards, subtly influencing everyone around you. You become a beacon of self-possession, a silent testament to the undeniable truth that true power originates from within, impervious to the chaos of the external world. Let this knowledge be your compass, your shield, and your sword as you navigate the complexities of life and relationships. Step forward, not as a reaction to the past, but as a deliberate creation of your future. The stage is set, the script is yours to write, and the spotlight awaits your genuine, unyielding self. Before you fully embrace this transformative journey, let's be absolutely clear. The principles of becoming emotionally dangerous, of embracing family nihilism, are not a license for malice or a weapon to wield against others. This isn't about becoming a bully or deliberately causing harm. Instead, consider this wisdom a sophisticated form of self-defense, a robust toolkit designed to fortify your spirit and protect your boundaries. It's about constructing an inner sanctuary, an emotional stronghold, where your authentic self can thrive, unburdened by manipulation or undue influence. This wisdom empowers you to safeguard your integrity, to maintain your emotional equilibrium, and to ensure your personal sovereignty remains inviolable. It's not about asserting dominance over anyone else, but about mastering your own internal landscape, reclaiming the control that was always rightfully yours, and ensuring no one can ever again dictate your worth or your path. You've journeyed through the shadows of inherited expectations and the subtle snares of manipulation. Now, you stand at the precipice of a profound choice, a genuine American moment of self-determination. Will you continue on the familiar road, where your actions are predictable, your emotions easily exploited, and your freedom a constant negotiation? A path where you remain a supporting character in someone else's story, always seeking external validation, always reacting to the whims of others, like a ship without a rudder tossed by every wave of familial drama? Or will you boldly step onto the untrodden path, the one that leads to becoming truly emotionally dangerous, a path of exhilarating self-discovery, of unwavering resolve, and of an untamed spirit that refuses to be caged? This is where you transform from a pawn in the intricate emotional chess games of life into the grandmaster of your own destiny, strategically moving forward, unreadable, untouchable, and utterly free. The power to choose this liberation, to embody this transformation, is not a distant dream. It is a tangible reality that rests in your hands right now. You have been given the compass, the map, and the courage to chart your own course. The only remaining question is, are you ready to navigate it? If this profound message resonated with the deepest parts of your being, if you're ready to shed the old skin of compliance and step into your true, emotionally dangerous self, then take a moment right now and hit that like button. Your support helps this vital truth reach countless others who are silently struggling to reclaim their power. And to continue unlocking the secrets of unbreakable self-mastery and radical personal freedom, make sure to subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell. Don't miss out on the next crucial revelation that could change your life. Finally, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, share with me, what is one deeply ingrained family expectation, one that feels like a heavy weight that you are absolutely ready to challenge and dismantle starting today? Make that public declaration, solidify your commitment, and join a growing community of individuals who are forging their own paths, free from the shackles of inherited control. Share this video with anyone you know who needs to hear this truth, who is tired of being a puppet and is ready to become the architect of their own extraordinary life. The moment to reclaim your power is not tomorrow, not next week. It is undeniably, unequivocally right now.